Yes, just to say, my name is Louise Harrison. I'm one of the managers of the Partners Programme. I'm going to be delivering this presentation with my colleague, Dawn Dowling. So I'll let Dawn just introduce herself as well.
Yes, hello, my name's Dawn Dowling and I manage the Partners Programme Supported Entry Route at Newcastle University alongside Louise.
Great. So Dawn and I will be sharing the presentation, so we both kind of take turns to give you bits of information. But just to talk through what we're going to cover, we're going to talk about what the Partners Programme actually is. We'll talk to you about the Partners Academic Summer School. We'll talk to you specifically about the medicine and dentistry strand. Bear with me one second because I believe you aren't able to see my screen properly, so just bear with me one second.
It's your screen.
Great. Okay. Apologies for that. That was my fault because I was trying to mess around with it a little bit. So yes. So you haven't missed anything. So yes. So what we're going to cover is what the Partners Programme actually is, what the summer school involves as well. We have different strands of the summer school, and we'll be talking specifically about the medicine and dentistry strand. We'll then talk about the benefits of being part of the Partners Programme. We'll talk you through the eligibility criteria for the programme, the actual process of applying, and then also how to find out more. So firstly, what is the Partners Programme? The Partners Programme is a supported entry route into Newcastle University. It allows students the chance to get a slightly lower offer to the university on the condition of attending a summer school, an academic summer school at the end of year 13. So over 5,000 students have entered the university via Partners since it began in the year 2000. So we have been able to support a lot of students to come into Newcastle University via this route. It is a nationally recognised programme, so the programme is available to any student in the UK who meets those some of the eligibility criteria that we'll talk about a little bit later on in the presentation. And like I've already said, it has been running since the year 2000. So I just wanted to be clear at this point that this programme is specifically for UK students. So if there are any students who aren't resident in the UK, this programme wouldn't actually apply. So students who come through the Partners Programme receive a lower conditional offer from Newcastle University. And that offer includes successful completion of a free summer school. So the summer school takes place at the end of year 13. We will talk a little bit more in a little bit more detail about it in a moment, but it is completely free to attend, and students come along normally to the university campus and take part in academic sessions and also take part in various other sessions related to university. And there's lots of extra help and support available to students whilst they're applying, and also once they begin their studies at the university. So the Partners team can help students not only with their application and getting a place at Newcastle University, but also once they attend the university as well. And we'll talk through all of that as we go through the presentation. So the lower offer, I've mentioned that already. So what that actually means is students who are eligible for Partners would be eligible for a lower offer, which is up to 3 grades lower than the typical offer. So just to give you an example, for medicine, for 2021 entry, the typical offer for Newcastle University is 3 A's at A-level or equivalent. With Partners, the offer would be 3 B's at A-level or equivalent, plus the successful completion of the summer school. So it does lower those grades by 3 there, so from 3 A's to 3 B's. For any of the courses, you can check online for the entrance requirements, and you can see the website at the bottom there. You can see what the typical offer would be for any course at Newcastle University, and then what the Partners offer would be. So I'm now going to talk a little bit more about the academic summer school. This is part of the offer. So the offer would be the lower conditional offer and then successful completion of the summer school. So the Partners Academic Summer School, or PASS for short, gives you an insight into student life, and it helps to aid the transition between school or college and university. The format is still to be confirmed for 2021 entry, but just to give you an idea how it would normally work, in 2019, it was a fully on-campus event. It's a week-long event, and for students who aren't local to the Newcastle area and who can't commute every day, you would be given free accommodation on campus. You would stay in our halls of residence, and you would get the chance to mix with lots of other students from across the UK. completely free, and travel is paid for as well. And on campus, you would meet with the academics that you would actually work with once you started at the university. You would take part in higher education skills sessions to give you a bit more help with things like referencing, presentation skills, all the kinds of skills that you would need for starting as a student at university. Now, because of the obvious global pandemic that is currently going on, in 2020, we ran the event fully online. So students still had the experience of working with academics and taking part in HE skills sessions and taking part in some social activities as well. But this happened fully online on our VLE, our virtual learning environment. So students still got a lot out of it, but it was different to the format that we've had in the past. Now, because it's obviously still very unsure as to what the situation will be next year, we can't confirm for definite what the format will be. But we will be able to do that shortly, and all the information will be on the website. Normally the event takes place late June, early July, so that will be the case again. So whatever format it takes, it will take place sort of late June, early July 2021. And like I've already said, it is completely free to attend. So we pay for any accommodation costs, we pay for travel, and we also pay for any food costs as well. So there are 4 components to the Partners Academic Summer School. I've already talked a little bit about the academic sessions. So they are sessions that students would take with the academics that they work with in the subject that they would be applying to university for. So for example, for medicine or for dentistry, you would work with academics in the medical school or the dental school, and you would take part in real sessions similar to what you would do once you started the university. We also have higher education skills sessions, which, like I already said, are related to things like referencing styles that you would need, presentation style, all the kinds of skills that you would need for when you start as a student at university. We also have an employability strand, which gives you a bit more of an idea about the careers that may be on offer to you. And we also have various social activities as well. So Dawn is now going to go into a little bit more detail about all the different parts of the summer school.
Thank you. So as Louise said, sort of the main part of the summer school is the academic session. So that's what you're there to do. We will be taught by the same lecturers that teach on the undergraduate courses, so academics in the field of medicine and dentistry that you would be taught by once you're at the university. It is very subject-specific content, spread across anything between 10 and 30 contact hours. Now, as you can imagine, for medicine and dentistry, you are going to be getting closer towards that 30 contact hours just due to the nature of the subjects. There's a range of different delivery styles depending on what you choose to study. So, for example, if a student applies to English literature, they're not going to be spending a lot of time in labs, whereas a medicine student, a dentistry student are going to be doing more practical things during summer school. So the next slide talks a bit more in detail about medicine strand at PASS. So as Louise said earlier, usually the format of the summer school is actually in person on campus in Newcastle. Because of the current situation, public health situation, we had to go completely online this year. So to give you an example of what happened this year, there were 68 attendees on the medicine strand. They received 20 hours of contact time with lecturers spread across a week, Monday to Friday. This was delivered completely online via our virtual learning platform, which is called Canvas. And the academics used a mixture of pre-recorded lectures and live sessions over the likes of Zoom. As part of those live sessions, students were split into smaller groups to have discussions peer-to-peer, but also give them the opportunity to make some friends too. Now, the topic that was focused on this year was actually COVID-19. They were looking at respiratory disease, looking at the clinical features and investigations of pneumonia, the anatomy of the respiratory system, and examination of the respiratory system. So it's quite topical for what's going on at the moment. A big part of the medicine degree at Newcastle is getting practical hands-on experience from stage 1. And at the summer school, our students also get to practice their clinical skills with peers. Now, obviously this year, with it being fully online, it was a little bit more difficult to make that practical experience happen. But they did do a lot of practical demonstrations online as part of the summer school to try and replicate that. As part of the strand as well, students had to take part in group seminars where they were given a case and had to discuss with an academic how they would approach that case and go through it as a group. And they also had to complete some online quizzes to test their knowledge. On the next slide, we've got an example of the timetable. There we go. So this is just to give you a bit of an example of what it looked like. So as you can see, it is quite busy. Just to say, PASS only takes place over 1 week, so there is quite a lot to cram in, but it's also representative of the workload that you might expect on a medicine degree. So you're always going to have a lot going on. This was the timetable this year. Lots of sessions in relation to academic open office. What that means is that's free time for you to contact your academic, ask them any questions, have a bit of a one-to-one. There's lots of sessions on the likes of communication skills, clinical skills as well. So lots going on over the week. I'm going to show you the dentistry strand next for those that are interested in dentistry. So this year we had 26 attendees on dentistry, so a lot smaller than medicine, but the dentistry course at Newcastle has a much smaller cohort, so that's to be expected. Dentistry applicants received 19 hours of contact time across the week. And again, this was delivered in the format of a mixture of pre-recorded sessions and live sessions with lecturers, lots of interactivity via quizzes and things like that. And again, as part of this strand, we split our students into smaller groups so they could interact with peers and make some friends, but also as part of those smaller groups, they were given a piece of work to produce. The topic that we covered this year was periodontal disease, and they were looking at the role of diet and nutrition as part of this. Again, very similar to medicine, a big part of the dentistry degree in Newcastle is getting that practical hands-on experience from the very beginning. And usually when we're on campus, that would involve practicing clinical skills up in the dental hospital. Obviously, that unfortunately couldn't happen this year with the current situation. But as part of the online summer school, students were introduced to real-life case studies and encouraged to think about how they would proceed in a face-to-face situation. So we've got the dentistry timetable for you to have a look at as well, just to give you an idea. So there we go. So like you can see, it's quite a full timetable, lots going on. Again, don't be too worried, it does take place over a week. So a normal week in the life of a dentistry student probably wouldn't be as full on as this. It's very similar to what we would have done on campus, but on campus later in the day, we also run social activities and things like that, which we'll tell you a little bit about more in a moment. So that was all of the academic sort of stuff that we cover, but alongside that, we also run an employability strand. Now, if you are applying to study medicine or dentistry, more than likely you've already got a pretty set career path in mind. But the aim of these sessions is to introduce you to a wide range of professions and opportunities for personal development and career enrichment activities that you can take part in outside of your studies. So this year, medicine students had the chance to take part in a Q&A with junior doctors and an online webinar with the medical director of a local hospital and a consultant in anaesthetics and a fly-in doctor with the Great North Ambulance. So they had a chance to speak to those guys and make some contacts there. Dentistry students also had the chance to meet with former partner students, so people who'd already been through the partner's experience, and also talk to a practicing dentist and around things like self-employment as a dentist as well, so figuring out how that all works. Alongside sort of thinking about your future career, if you are hoping to get a part-time job when you study, it's useful to find out what the careers service at Newcastle University can offer you with support with that, so they can support with things like helping you put together a CV and helping you get some practice into your experience. So there's all of that to think about outside of your main career path as a medic or a dentist. And we also have our higher education skills. So this is just to give you a bit of a head start in preparing for higher education. So the way that you study and the way that you work at university will be very different to what you're used to at school. And there's some core skills that are useful to any student, no matter what degree they are studying. So we'll be introducing you to how to reference, help study independently and manage your time, how to study online, which is probably going to be a part of how we learn going forward for a while yet. We also look at how to manage your assessments and how to get the most out of feedback as well. We also have some social activities. So one of the main benefits of partners is obviously the lower offer, but also getting the opportunity to make friends and meet other people that are going to be on your course when you actually start in the September. So usually on campus we have things like a quiz night, cinema night, we do tours of the city, we have like a dodgeball tournament. Online we also still had social activities, so we had a quiz and we had the opportunity for students to talk to each other outside of the subject strand as well. So there'll be lots of opportunities to meet other students.
Okay, so I'm now going to talk to you a little bit about the benefits of the programme. So just a little bit more, if you're still thinking, what's in it for me? Obviously, we've talked quite a lot about what the summer school involves, and we've talked quite a lot about the lower offer, but there's quite a lot more to it than that. So by taking part in partners and coming along to the academic summer school, you get to see what university is really like. So you, like we've been saying, you either come onto campus, or if it is online, you get to see our virtual learning environment, and you still get to meet all of the academics that you would work with once you started your course, and you still get to meet people who will be on your course as well. When the event is on campus, you also get to use Newcastle University facilities. So we arrange for you to have access to our libraries in advance, so you get to go into the libraries over the summer school, and that access stays right to the point that you start your course. We also sort you out with your IT login details, so you get a Newcastle University email account, and you can use our IT facilities. You get to meet other students, so whether that be virtually or face-to-face, you get to meet other students not only on your course, but also on the summer school as a whole. Just to give you an idea, this year we had over 1,200 students on the summer school, so it is quite a large summer school, and you get to meet students from all over the country, all doing different kinds of courses, so hopefully you'll get to make some good friends before you even start. The summer school is also a really great chance for you to increase your confidence. It really shows students that they are capable of doing the degree that they've applied to. All of the sessions are tailored to support you and to help you to become the best possible student you can. Dawn obviously mentioned the employability strand that we run. So the summer school does help to enhance your employability skills as well. We also offer ongoing support from our team. So Dawn and myself, and also the other members of the partners team, we don't just stop helping students when they get their place on the course. We continue that support right into starting university and beyond. We keep in touch with you all the way through university, and we give you information, for example, that might be coming up, any support that we might be able to offer you, or vice versa. So we do keep in touch with you. Obviously, the main point is that you do receive the lower offer. So obviously that is a point for you to be aware of. It just gives students that cushion to know that they can still get a place at the university with the lower partners grades. And like we've already said as well, the summer school is completely free to attend. So all travel costs, all food costs, all accommodation costs are all paid for. So you don't need to worry about having to pay for anything to be able to attend. Just a little bit more about ongoing support as well. Once you're at the university, we have a partners mail base. So all students at the university who came through the partners programme are on mailing lists. So we email out really regularly with various different opportunities and pieces of information that may be of interest to you. I already mentioned work opportunities. We have various schemes where you can support us. So summer school reps, they are students who came through partners who then can come back and help us to support future students at the summer school. So they work with us throughout the week to support the students on the summer school. It's a really great opportunity for you to give back, but also to earn some money as well. We have Future Me mentors and also student ambassadors as well, and they are very similar roles where students are able to use their experiences of being at the university to support future students as well. We also ask students for their support with focus groups. So students who've attended the summer school, we ask them to come and give us their opinions once they start the university via focus groups, so that we're constantly able to improve So students are able to actually give back there as well and give their opinions and hopefully shape future summer schools. We also get in contact and ask you to give us a bit more detail about how it's going. So we send a how's it going so far survey out to all students. So again, that information will be used to help improve the summer school for future years. And Dawn mentioned about the employability strand on the summer school, but we also have something called Careers Insights, which is linked with our University Careers Service. And that allows partner students and other eligible students to take part in a scheme that allows them to get further work experience. We've had students in the past who've been able to work with some really high profile employers and gain that really valuable experience to hopefully help them to get the career that they want in the future as well. So there is a lot of ongoing support. We don't just stop supporting you once you begin the university. There's also additional financial support on offer to partner students. So just to give you an idea of some of the ones that we had for this year, we had the Charles Letts Scholarship, which is £2,000 per year. Also the Diane and Brian Arkley bursary, which is actually specifically for medicine students. That's a £6,000 bursary that's paid to students across their time at university. And there's also the Faraday Institute Scholarship, which was £4,500 per year. So this money isn't like loans that has to be paid back. This is non-repayable money that is paid to students from the university. Some have application processes and eligibility criteria. Others are just based on the fact that you're a partner student and you're doing a particular course. So these obviously can change from year to year, but it is just to make you aware that there is additional financial support on offer to partner students as well. So I'm going to pass on to Dawn now, who's going to talk you through the eligibility criteria.
Yes, thank you. So if we can pop on to the next slide, please. So Partners is a widening participation scheme, so there are some eligibility criteria in order to take part. So I'm going to talk you through those now. You must meet all of our essential conditions. You must meet one or more of the 14 eligibility criteria that we look at, and then you need to make Newcastle University your firm choice. So we'll talk you through the essential conditions first. So you must have home student status. So as Louise said at the start of the presentation, Partners is open to students from the United Kingdom. Home student status means either you were born here or you have indefinite leave to remain here. You must meet the UCAS deadlines. So Partners' application process runs alongside the UCAS process. So you apply in year 13 and we have exactly the same deadlines. So that is the 15th of October for medicine and dentistry and the 15th of January for all of the courses. You must be resident in the UK when you apply. So anyone can apply from anywhere in the United Kingdom. It's not just a supported entry route for students from the local Newcastle area. It is open to anyone in the United Kingdom. And there are some terms and conditions in regards to your predicted grades, but I'll talk about that when we get to that slide because it is a little bit complicated. So your predicted grades, they must be no more than one grade lower than the lower Partners offer. So, for example, if you're applying to medicine, the lower Partners offer is 3 Bs, so you must be predicted at least 2 Bs in a C. You must also fulfil any other selection criteria. So, for example, an interview, so for medicine and dentistry, they look at the UCAT score and they also interview. So you would still need to go through that part of the process. And if the course you're applying to has any specific subject requirements, you must meet that element too. And there's just an example on the screen for you to see for dentistry. So that typical offer is 3 A's at A level. The Partners offer is 3 grades lower at 3 B's. To be accepted to Partners, you must be predicted to achieve at least 2 B's in a C. And they're also looking at the UCAT score and completion of some work experience, and they also interview as well. So those are the essential criteria. The next slide here that I'm going to talk you through is our eligibility criteria. So you've got to meet one or more of these. Just to say, you only need to meet one. If you meet more than one, that's absolutely fine, but it doesn't give you an advantage over anyone else. As long as you meet one, that's not a problem. So the first thing we look at is your home postcode, so where you live. We're looking at students who come from an area of low progression. So that means not many people in your area progress on to university. or if you live in an area which has a high level of financial socioeconomic deprivation. On our website, which we'll give you the details of at the end of the presentation, you can type your postcode in and it will tell you straight away if you're eligible under this criteria. If you are eligible for any additional financial support at school or college, so if you are entitled to free school meals, the 16 to 19 bursary, pupil premium funding, anything like that, that would make you eligible. It's worth noting on this one as well, you don't have to be claiming the financial support, but if you're entitled to it, you would be eligible. So it might be worth checking that out if you're not sure. We also look at the school or college that you currently attend for your A-levels or equivalent, or that you did attend for your GCSEs. So we're looking at students who've attended a low performing school. On our website, there's a list of schools and colleges that would meet this criteria. So you can have a look. I would say though, if your school isn't on that list, that doesn't mean you can't apply. It just means you would have to be eligible on something else. So anyone that attends any school in the UK can apply. But if they're on that list, you would be automatically eligible based on that. If you have a disability, so if you are entitled to the personal independence payment, then you would be eligible. You need to be eligible for the payment at the enhanced rate in either the daily living or mobility components, or the standard rate in both components. If you have neither of your parents or carers have been to university, and the main wage earner in the household is not in a professional occupation, you might be eligible under this criteria. Now, this is the one sometimes that confuses people a little bit. So if neither of your parents have been to university and the main wage earner in the household is not in a professional occupation, so it's a two-part of that one. If you're not sure if the main wage earner in your household would be classed as being in a professional occupation, get in touch with us and we'll check that for you. We use a government database to check that. If you are from a BAME background and attend a state school, you would be eligible based on this. Or if you are from a Gypsy, Roma or traveller community. If your parents and carers are currently serving or have served in the armed forces at a key educational time, you would be eligible for the programme under that. If you are a refugee or if you are seeking asylum, you would be eligible for the programme. If you are an estranged student, so that means that you have no contact with your parents, if you're living independently and estranged from your family. If you have experience of local authority care, so if you've got experience of 3 months or more in the local authority care system, you would be eligible. If you're a young carer, so if you have caring responsibilities at home, either for a relative, perhaps if they're ill or have a disability, you'd be eligible. Or if you are a student parent, so if you're responsible for the care of a child under the age of 17, you would be eligible for partners under that criteria. So there's quite a lot of things that we look at. We try to be as inclusive as possible. You would just need to meet one of those. These are all on the website. We don't expect you to remember them all from a presentation, so you can go on the website and work through them. And the next thing you need to do is make Newcastle your firm choice university. So once you've applied and got your offers back, you'll be asked to make a firm and insurance choice. To take advantage of a lower partners offer, you would need to make us your firm choice at that point. Okay, so how to apply. Like I said earlier, we have the same deadlines as UCAS. So the first thing you need to do is submit that UCAS application form. You need to include a P for partners in the further details section of any courses you've applied to at Newcastle. And like I said, you need to meet the UCAS deadlines. Unfortunately, we can't consider applications from students who do miss those deadlines. Once you've got your UCAS form submitted and your teacher has done their part, you need to go on our website and submit an online partners application form. Now, this is a totally online form. It's quite short. It's not as onerous as the UCAS form. You don't need to submit a personal statement or anything like that. We just need to gather some information from you to assess your eligibility. When you're filling in that form, you'll be asked to select a referee at your school or college to verify the information, and then they will do that online. Once we've got your completed form, we will process it and get back to you within 20 working days to confirm whether or not you've been accepted onto the programme. Now, acceptance onto partners doesn't guarantee you an offer for the course. particularly for the likes of medicine and dentistry, there is still that UCAT process and that interview process as well. But if you've been accepted onto partners, what that means is if you are made an offer, it will be at the lower grades, the 3Bs, plus successful completion of the summer school. Okay, so that is the end of our talk. Our website address is just on the screen there. So it's ncl.ac.uk/partners. That's our email address as well, if you did have any questions after today and wanted to ask us. But thank you for listening. If there are any questions, we'll be happy to take them now.
I'm just having a look to see if there's any in the chat. I can't see. Oh yeah, sorry, there are a couple. Let's have a look. Sorry, there's one. How are young carers defined? So they are defined as having full caring responsibility for either a member of their family. Let me just get up the page so I can give you the exact wording. Just bear with me 1 second.
I've got it up, Louise.
Oh, you have? Oh, perfect. Thank you.
So the definition of young carer, so if you have sole or shared responsibility for the care of a relative, so either because they're ill, have a disability, experiencing mental distress or affected by substance abuse, what we ask for this criteria is for you to supply some supplementary evidence to confirm your status as a carer. So there's a list on the website of what we can accept as evidence, but things like a letter from a carer support group, something from social services or your local authority, a letter from your GP, something like that, just to kind of prove your young carer status.
Any other questions?
I think there was one further up about, is this programme open for Year 13 students from all over the country? Hopefully we did cover that one, but yes, it is. It's open to any student in the United Kingdom, so England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland.
Don't see any other ones in there, but if anyone else has any that they want to ask, please feel free. But probably just to say the best thing to do, obviously this presentation has a lot of information in it and we appreciate there's a lot to take in, so the best thing to do would be to have a look on the website, which I can put that screen back up now just so you can see it again if anyone needs it. Sorry, bear with me. I'm saying I'll put it back up and it's not doing it. There. So on just to check, can you see that now?
I can see it, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so if there aren't any other questions, I'm assuming we will leave it there.
Hi there. I don't think there's any more questions in the chat box. I think that's fine. There was an issue with the one that couldn't see the screen, but I think the recordings for this event are provided at the end anyway, so they can view it. They can't need to. I think the next session is at 1:20. I think that's with yourselves, both of you yourselves as well.
Oh no, we're not on at 1:20.
No, we're just on this one, I think.
Okay. Maybe an error with the timetable there. Then. Right, I'll try and find out what's going on there. Then. I don't think there's any more questions in the chat. I think that's fine. Oh, I think there's one question that's come up from Charlie.
I don't know, to be honest. Louise and I aren't academics, so I can't really answer any kind of in-depth dentistry questions. I know they do definitely study anatomy as part of the course, but I'm not sure about the first part of your question. Apologies.
It's probably best just to have a look on, if this is specifically for Newcastle University's dentistry course, we'd recommend you have a look on their website. So if you just go to ncl.ac.uk, and then there's a search bar at the top where you can search specifically for dentistry. That'll allow you to get a bit more information about that as well. Okay, that looks like, yeah, it doesn't look like there's any more. So
Doesn't seem to be any more questions there, so that should be okay. Yeah.
no problem.
Thank you very much for presenting today. It's really been informative and interesting. I think a lot of the people that attended must have enjoyed it as well. So
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
all right. No
Thank you
problem.
very much. Thanks now.